you're not going to be invited to the wedding feast. You're going to be thrown into
Right.
the outer darkness where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. And here's where people get caught up in their theology as being mistaken. A lot of people conflate the outer darkness with hell, and
Mhm.
that's completely incorrect. The outer darkness in the Hebraic understanding is just, hey, the wedding is very well lit. It's a nice little venue. Everybody's having fun inside, and they're in a bright room. They're in a bright area. Everything else outside that, it's dark. It's essentially oscuro, as they would say in Spanish. Like, it's just straight up pitch black. You might see a slight glimmer of the light on the direct outer perimeter, but when he says, get out of here, go into outer darkness where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth, he wants you like just way outside the perimeter. Hey, you can just leave the area. Evacuate the area, please. I don't want to see you around here. And so the idea is there are many people who think that through their service, which isn't really service according to scripture, they've qualified themselves to be part of the feast and or part of the wedding feast. And so when he goes inside, so yes, there are the bride and then there are the guests. So there's the very faithful people, then there's the people who are a little less faithful in that guest area, but they're not unfaithful enough to be thrown out. And then there's the ones who like think they're ready, so they go inside, they go without their garment. And
Right.
what's the garment? Revelation, if you go to the end of it, it says that the linen clothing is the righteous works of the
Right.
saints.
Yep.
So
19.
exactly, yeah, Revelation, yeah, I think
Mhm.
you said 19. That I think that's
Mhm.
correct. It slipped from my memory there, but
That's correct.
the reality is that the garments represents the righteousness and the deeds that people perform, the masim. So when Yeshua is having people come into the door, he's judging them not by their belief, like how much did you intellectually believe that this thing and that thing was true, but how much
Yeah.
did you follow me? Do your masim, do your deeds show that you've actually put your faith in me and not in your own righteousness or not in an
Right.
incorrect doctrine or not in an incorrect set of doctrines? So I think the people who get thrown out are going to be the ones who thought we don't have to obey, or we can obey, but we're only going to do it partially, or we do have to obey, but we only have to do 70% of it. It's going to be those kinds
Yeah.
of people, I think, that get thrown out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to imagine that because we're, I heard, and I know I've shared this before. But I heard a pastor talk about visiting a pastor who had actually been convicted of a crime and put in prison. And he talked about how much he loved Yeshua, how much, of course, Jesus, how much he loved God. But he said, my problem was I had no fear of them. And I think that is a big problem within our society today. We, we don't really see him as an authority.